So this week's project, while you're at home on Monday, is to investigate one program that's written in Python. This will prepare you for your first main assignment for Unit 12. So what you need to do to get yourself ready is you've already downloaded Portable Python and you've been writing programs in that. So you're going to find Portable Python, and what I want you to do, or what you need to do, is you need to find the IDLE, the idle, and we need to open that. That will take a few moments. Remember, it looks like it's not working, but it is. Okay, there we go. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for that to happen, I've also downloaded my program that's part of this task, and if I go down to downloads, all the way down, I've saved it. Currently it's named wrongly, but this is the program that you'll have. The problem with Python, Portable Python, is that it's not associated .py files with the Python program. So if I try double clicking, it will run, but it won't work in the way I want. So what I need to do is I need to open Python first, and then open my file from within Python. Because Python isn't native to Microsoft, Microsoft doesn't know quite how you want it to open it. So I'm going to choose Open. So File, Open. Let me show you that again. Sorry, File, Open within the shell. I'm going to search for downloads. There we go. And I'm going to open the file. Okay, and you can now see the program. I'll minimize the rest of these. You can now see the Python program, so you can start to investigate it. So what are you going to do? You're going to see what it does. You're going to read it, and you're going to get a lot of clues from reading it. Depending on how good you are at interpreting Python, you might begin to see exactly what it's doing, or you might just get clues. So we know it's something to do with temperature. We know that the user is asked to input the temperature and the way they're asked to do it. 45F, 102C. We know that F and C are Fahrenheit and Celsius. We can see we have an if statement. We can see we have comparison operators. If scale upper is the same as. We can see we have an input and a print. So there are a lot of pieces of clues about what we have here. Another way to investigate it then, once we have an idea, is we can run. And we see the message being put there. And I'm going to try 30C, just as it describes. The number with the letters straight after. And I'm going to press enter. Okay, so now I'm really getting to see what this program does. I've read it, I've tried it out. So what I want you to be prepared for and have written down, this will help you and be part of, or certainly help you with your following assignment, your first major assignment, is to prepare notes on what the program does. Okay, some details about what it does, and the more times you run it, the more you might notice it. The more you read, the more you might notice it. And work out not just broadly what it does, but can you work out the steps that it's going through. The next thing you need to write some notes on are the features of the language that you recognise. You've already checked that, you've already looked through features, you've heard of if, elif, else, and we have one here. We have input and we have print. We have the use of variables, temp and degree and scale. We have the use of string functions like upper. You should already be familiar with all of those. So what I'd like is for you to write down an explanation, not just of the outline of what it does, but how it does it, broadly, what's the flow of it, the features that you notice used in the program. Have a little investigation to see if it works if you don't follow the instructions exactly. So I'm going to run it again. What if I do 30 space C? Will that be alright? What if I run C30? What if I do 30 lowercase c? What if I do just 30? Try those different varieties and see what happens. Does it work? Is that good or bad? Notice, has the writer of this program put any comments in to help the next programmer, i.e. you? Comments are written with a hash in front of them, so they're not seen by the computer when the program runs. Has the user done that? And finally, write some notes about how you find the program, what quality it is. For example, how easy is it to use? What's not so good about it? And you could include when you've tried different ways of running. Does that suit you? Does that work? Is it annoying? What annoys you? So, does it work? Is it accurate? I should check whether 30 degrees C is in fact 86 degrees. And the other way around, does it actually do the job it's supposed to do? So this morning or today's work for you is to take this program, do as I've done, open it, download it, open the Python shell, file open, and find that program again, and you'll probably find it in downloads. You choose open there, and then follow these steps that I've put in. So those steps are: tell me what does it do, find that out by running it and reading it, write that down, ready to talk about it in our next lesson, and ready to have some ideas for your assignment. What features of the language do you recognise? And here are some examples that you ought to recognise from what you've done already. Does it work if you don't follow the instructions exactly? Are there any detailed comments? And as a result of all of this, a discussion about how easy it is to use, what quality it is, what's not good about it, as both a user and a programmer. Finally, one of the main things that happens is here, a value is input, and then something is done to that variable temp, here and here. Something is done two different ways to that variable, and it makes two new variables. One is called degree, one is called scale. And we call on scale later on here, as well as calling on degree here. This is quite an unusual thing, and it would be interesting if you can work out what's happening to temp. It is making two new variables there. Right, so you have today's work to do this, or whenever your lecturer has told you, and bring the notes with you or put them onto OneDrive so that you are able to discuss this with the class in our next lesson.